Hello everyone, my name is Dheeraj and I'm the creator of the Instagram page Tennis Volley, where I share posts about the latest happenings in the world of tennis. And I would like you all to check out that page. And if you like what you're seeing out there, please do follow that page. And also check out my podcast. I've shared it as the Shade Stories option. I think you might like what I'm doing out there. If you do like it, please do share it to your friends and also share your opinions about that. Disclaimer alert, I'm a huge Novak Djokovic fan. You might find that if you look at my page because I have shared a lot of posts about Novak. But I do really admire all three GOATs, including Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal, obviously. And the way they go about playing tennis, it's very beautiful to watch because they're unique in their own way. And that's that. I'm going to stop posting about my channel or trying to ask you to follow my channel. And today we're going to jump right into the topic, uh, the French Open final. I'm going to talk about why Rafa Nadal was able to play a game which was able to dominate, through which he was able to dominate one of his rivals, greatest rivals. Rafa showed us how a clay court tennis should be played. Absolute dominant tennis. We saw one of the most dominant tennis performances in the history of a Grand Slam final, at least what I watched. I started watching tennis 10 years ago. I don't think we have seen such dominant performances in final. Probably I think I can remember two or three occasions, including the 2019 Australian Open final where Djokovic was dominating Nadal and Nadal was the receiving end. But 3 days ago, it was the roles were reversed. We saw Djokovic at the receiving end and Nadal absolutely going bonkers from the first set. I would like to talk about why Rafa was able to dominate Novak the way he did, and also where Novak went wrong and why Novak lost it. And also probably talk about what Novak could have done to get a better scoreline. Before the start of the match, from a personal account, I tweeted out that there are some key factors and key battles that we need to look out for, which could determine the outcome of the match. Those were the serve, the returns, the backhand down the line by Novak Djokovic, forehand down the line by Rafa Nadal, cross court backhand by Rafa, cross court forehand by Djokovic, the drop shots, and the defense. These were the key shots, the key factors which could determine the outcome of the match, is what I had said. And it clearly was dominated by Rafa. After the match, you could see that most of the factors which I mentioned was clearly won by Rafa. And the factors which could have influenced Novak's result, those were not clicking at all. Partly due to Rafa's gameplay. The way he played that day was outstanding. So I would like to mention how Rafa was able to break down Novak's game. So before talking about that, I want to mention about Novak's serve. It was not so great in the first set. He started off the match midway through the first set. His serving percentage was around 30%. I mean, to say his first serve was just 30%, and he was winning less than 30% of those first serves. I mean, against a guy who has the best stats possible for a returner on clay, especially clay, and one of the greatest returners across surfaces, having just 30% first serves is not going to help you much. And Rafa was able to dominate Novak's serve from the get-go because Novak was not landing a huge number of first serves. Yes, the serving percentage improved in the second and third set. Novak was able to ramp it up to above 70%, but Rafa was just able to dominate the way he did in the first set. I mean, due to that, Novak was able to win a few more games, but Rafa was able to wrap it up in the end. So Novak did not start the match on a positive note. Especially in Grand Slam final, the first set is going to be very crucial, especially in the Nadal-Djokovic rivalry, where if the first set is going to play a crucial role, not going to determine, obviously. The first set is going to play a crucial role in the outcome of the match. In this rivalry, if I'm not wrong, if the player wins the first set, they go on to win 75% of their matches in this rivalry. So the first set was key, and Djokovic did not show up in the first set, especially regarding the serves, and Nadal was able to dominate. And Rafa was not giving any freebies as well. I mean, that guy had 3 unforced errors in the first 2 sets, a total of 14 in the whole match. So Novak was not getting a lot of cheap points from Rafa through the ground strokes or the rallies, and Novak was had to work hard. Novak had to work hard throughout the match, and Novak was not able to find those great shots. Novak was not able to dominate Rafa. I made some certain notes during the match, during the duration of the match, and I noted down in a notebook, and I transferred them to my laptop. So I will be looking towards my laptop certain parts of this video so that I can refer to that and also share certain things which I do not want to miss sharing with you all. So let's talk about how Rafa was able to dominate the game. Why Rafa was able to dominate the game. The first thing is, talking about Novak, one of the greatest shots Novak possesses is backhand. His backhand is widely regarded as one of the greatest backhands of all time, and Rafa was able to keep that silent. Yes, Novak was able to hit some incredible winners from his backhand side, but he was not able to find the consistency and the accuracy and precision and power that was required at most points, many crucial points, I mean to say. And that was due to Rafa's game plan. He was hitting a lot of topspin cross-court forehand, which was bouncing a bit high to Novak's backhand. Obviously this is a tactic that Rafa uses against most players, and Novak has already handled that more, I think, more than anyone else in anybody's career. Novak has handled Rafa's cross-court forehand with a lot of topspin quite fine. His backhand was able to adjust to Rafa's forehand quite a lot number of times, and he was able to dominate Rafa from his backhand, especially in hard courts. So it was interesting for me to see that Novak was not able to play with that much power and precision from his backhand because Rafa's forehand was creating certain problems. Not only because of the topspin, because Rafa was creating wide angles and pushing Novak outside the court, and Novak was not able to, hit the ball with authority or with precision whenever he wanted to. The other reason, the other way how I mean to say other way how Rafa was able to keep Novak's backhand quiet was hitting his backhand with a lot of spin and with a lot of bounce to Novak's backhand. So the ball was coming at an awkward height, and it was not only coming from Rafa's forehand, it was also coming from Rafa's backhand. So Novak was not able to target his backhand, Nadal's backhand as well, which is regarded as the weaker shot for Rafa. And Rafa, with his game plan from his backhand to Novak's backhand, which was bouncing high, and especially these conditions, it bounces not too high. It did not bounce as much as it did in the previous years. But it still bounces higher when Rafa plays. And Rafa was able to generate the bounce, and the ball used to dip down when it was almost reaching Novak's backhand, and he was not able to generate a lot of pace and precision. Whenever he went for pace, he lost precision. Whenever he went for precision, he was not hitting with a lot of power. So Novak's backhand was largely kept quiet throughout the match. Second thing is how Rafa was able to quiet down Djokovic's forehand. Djokovic's forehand was playing very well during the entire tournament and clearly was his best shot in the final. So Novak was looking forward to dominate Rafa from his forehand, and Rafa was able to silence that as well. How? That's easy. Rafa's incredible defense and offense. Rafa's offense is well known. He's been a more aggressive player in the past 3 to 4 years, and Rafa has developed a more aggressive game. But his defense is still unreal, especially on clay courts where it's still nicer, forgiving to your knees. Rafa was able to defend most of the balls that Novak was hitting. What this did to Novak was it made him to go harder and harder, and he went to find the lines. He started to hit those balls in the directions of the lines, and he wanted those balls to land on those lines, and Novak was not able to find it. So his forehand started making a lot of errors. He was not able to make easy forehands. He was not able to make a finish off points. He was not able to make points where he needed to go for the line in order to get through Rafa. I think in this condition, in this case, the slower conditions than usual. I mean, because of the heavier balls, the slower court, because of the cold weather, it played against Novak because he was not able to hit through Rafa because Rafa's defense was unreal. And Novak was not very comfortable in hitting that extra ball which Rafa was making Novak to hit. So Novak was going harder and harder, and he was not able to find the lines when he needed to. So Novak's forehand as well started spewing errors, and even easy short balls was missed by Novak thanks to Rafa. So I mean, when we see the unforced error stats, Novak was making more than 20 in each set, I guess, and that was not only because Novak was playing bad. It was because of Rafa. Rafa was making those plays. He was responsible for Novak missing a lot of those forehands. Um, Talking about the returns, I forgot to mention that Rafa made more than 90% of the returns. His return percentage was more than 90%. He was able to get more than 9 out of 10 serves back in play. That's amazing. So that was one way how Rafa was. The second point which I mentioned was how Rafa silenced Novak's forehand. The third thing was the drop shot battle. Novak came into the match pretty confident with his drop shots because in the semi-final against Tsitsipas, which was an amazing match, Djokovic was able to get a lot of points behind the drop shots. I think he had more than 90% success rate behind the drop shots. But in the final, he did not. It did not work out at all. Novak had less than a 50% success rate on the drop shots. When we talk about 50% success rate, I'm mentioning about the successful made drop shots, not counting the drop shots which didn't even cross the net. I think Novak hit quite a few of them, which just hit the net and just fell in his own court, own side of the court. I mean, and Novak was not winning the drop shot battle, partly because when you look at the previous opponents, whom Novak faced, those players were not able to respond to Novak's drop shots quickly. Even if they did not know what to do once they reached to the drop shots. For example, Tsitsipas, whenever he reached Novak's drop shots, he was just hitting it down the line. And Novak was able to cover that, and Novak was able to lob Tsitsipas and win those points quite easily. When you talk about Rafa is an experienced guy. He knows Novak's game probably more than anyone else. He was quickly anticipating Novak's drop shots, getting to them quicker than anybody else in this tournament, and also knowing what to do at that moment when he reached the drop shots. He mixed it up. Novak lost his positioning, he was slipping, he did not know what to do when Rafa reached a drop shot. Novak's court positioning was just awkward, and Rafa was able to hit it to any part of the court because Novak did not know whether Rafa was going down the court or Rafa was going sideways, and Novak just seemed clueless whenever Rafa reached his drop shot. So the drop shot battle was lost by Novak, and Rafa made quite a few amazing drop shots. Especially, I remember one point where it was going pretty well, it was pretty even, and Rafa suddenly pulled out a drop shot from his forehand side by backing away, and Novak just stood still. He did not see that coming at all. So Rafa used the drop shot to his advantage whenever he needed to. Whereas Novak was going for the drop shot too many times, and most of the times it was unsuccessful. So the other thing which Nadal used was the short slice to Novak's backhand, drawing Novak towards the court, towards the net. A short slice which was low bouncing towards. It's not when I talk about short slice. It's between a drop shot and a slice. So he was drawing Djokovic towards the net by hitting the short slice to Novak's backhand midway through the court, and Djokovic was not able to play well from those positions. I mean, this is a tactic which we have seen before, right? If you have observed Roger Federer's matches with Novak Djokovic, you have seen Roger employing this tactic over and over again to draw Novak towards the net because Novak is relatively weaker. But Novak was able to counter that because he used to hit a quite heavy cross-court backhand to Roger's backhand. When you talk about a short slice by Roger to Novak's backhand, when Novak went cross-court, he was going to Roger's backhand, which is not that powerful shot, not a powerful shot and not that consistent when you compare it to Roger's forehand. But yesterday, I mean, you said 3 days back, when Rafa did that short slice and drew Novak, And when Novak wanted to go across court from his backhand, he was going towards Rafa's forehand, which is one of the most powerful shots in the history of tennis and very consistent as well. So Novak was forced to go for winners from that position. He went too hard from that position and he made a lot of errors from that position, and Rafa was able to again extract a lot of free points from that play. It was an interesting tactic. I've not seen Rafa do that a lot of times against Novak, and that was interesting to see. And the other thing which I have written down was not engaging in too many rallies. When we talk about the Nadal Djokovic matchup, the most uh, the most common thing I think which most people think would be long rallies. Because we remember the 2012 Australian Open final, the 2013 French Open semi-final, and remember of those long, exhausting rallies that these guys play. But 3 days ago, Nadal was not willing to engage in a lot of rallies. I mean, even if he did, I think he would have won those points. There were very few um, rallies which went beyond 20 shots. Because whenever the rallies seemed to be growing longer, Rafa used to hit a drop shot or he'd hit that cross court low slice to Novak's backhand and expose him. I think the reason he did was he didn't want Novak to play these rallies and get into groove. I think he wanted Novak to feel uncomfortable, and it was a statement made to Novak that I don't want to play your game. I will be making you dance to my tunes, and I will be having you in my string. That's what Nadal did. He made Djokovic dance to his tunes because Nadal was making all those plays and Djokovic had to respond to it. Djokovic was largely reactive throughout the entire match rather than being proactive. Whenever Djokovic tried to be proactive, it didn't work out. It was a sad day for Novak fans like me. I was just shell shocked, honestly. It was amazing to see how a guy could outclass another guy like that in a Grand Slam final when both of them are in good form. Yes, you could also I think remember the Australian Open 2019 final, which again people did not expect it to go that way. It was similar, just the roles were reversed. And another thing which I would like to say was yes, the cross-court backhand by Nadal. Whenever Djokovic went to a angled forehand cross-court, trying to push Nadal away from the court and try to expecting a short return and try to finish the points. Djokovic has done this a lot of times, trying to hit that heavy spin cross-court forehand, pushing Nadal off the court. But Djokovic was not able to do that. Nadal, whenever he in that position, he used to pull off a powerful cross-court backhand in response, and Djokovic was not able to respond to that. Even if he did, he had to stretch with all of his flexibility, and he used to give Nadal a short return, which which Nadal easily finished off the point from that position, using his ultimate weapon, his forehand. So Nadal's cross-court backhand was a real difference between the two. I think if I have to be honest, Nadal's backhand was clearly the better shot than Djokovic's backhand in the final. So the last thing which I would like to say is what could Djokovic have done? I think he should have showed up with a better mindset in the first set, especially relating to serving. Serving is one thing that is in the control of the player. There are a lot of things that could go wrong because how the position is playing. Like I mentioned, how Rafa was able to extract a lot of errors from Djokovic's forehand, backhand, and we're making Djokovic uncomfortable by pulling him towards net with the short slice and everything. Yeah, that's fine. And due to that, your rhythm might get disrupted and a lot of things might go wrong. But Djokovic in the first set, the match had not even started. He should have been better while serving in the first set. I think 30% for the first three games and 42% overall in the first set is not good enough against the greatest returner on clay. Djokovic would have come up with a better serving percentage. And I think if he did that, especially in the first set, if he had won more cheaper points, if he won more points from his serve, I think he would have won a few games and it would have probably boosted his confidence and might have made him play better. But it did not happen. It instead gave Nadal a huge boost in confidence knowing that Djokovic is not serving really well and Nadal served better, played better from that moment onwards. And Djokovic, even though he improved his serve, Nadal with that improved confidence and also the form he was coming into the match, Nadal was just able to counter anything that Djokovic asked Nadal. So, and the other thing I wanted to say, one other thing which I think Novak could have done was probably be more consistent with his rallies rather than going for the winners too early or being impatient by going for the drop shots early in the rallies. I think Novak should have stayed consistent. I mean, if you look at the previous matches that these two guys have played, yes, Novak has been using a lot of drop shots whenever they played in clay court, but I think you can observe easily that Novak was willing to engage in rallies with Nadal, making a lot of shots, playing with Nadal in a lot of rallies, hitting good heavy shots and pushing Nadal off the court and trying to go for winners from that position. But Djokovic was not willing to do that in majority of the points. And again, as I told before, Nadal's defense and attack made Djokovic's confidence go down, and also made Djokovic question his ability to hit through the court because he was not able to get through Nadal. So regarding that's the only thing I think I can talk about what Djokovic could have done. Honestly, if even if Djokovic played a lot of those things which I said, or if he played better than he did, I think Nadal would have won this match regardless because the level he was playing at was unbelievable. So the last thing is the Grand Slams count. Yes, Rafa won his 13th French Open and won his 20th Grand Slam, equaling Roger Federer and becoming the man with the most number of Grand Slam titles in men's tennis. And what about Djokovic? Is it too late for Djokovic? I don't think so. Djokovic, I think, has another 5 to 6 years of good tennis left in him. Talking about his level, I think for another 2 to 3 years, Djokovic can maintain the level that he's showing. If a big if there are no injuries to Novak, I think for another 2 years, Novak could maintain his level that he's showing right now because he's one of the fittest guys on tour, and he can win a few slams at the hard course and Wimbledon, and I think he can reach the 20 slam count. But will Rafa win more French Opens? I think so. So let's see how this GOAT race ends up, who wins the most number of Grand Slam titles, and it's just unbelievable to watch these guys play like that and dominate men's tennis like they have done. Thank you for watching this video. Kindly share and subscribe.